This meeting of the Fremont County Board of County Commissioners is called to order. Welcome this morning. We will begin with our invocation and our Pledge of Allegiance. Our invocation this morning is by Craig Cavalier, the Bureau of Prisons Chaplain, followed by our Pledge of Allegiance. Please rise.
Morning. In the book of Proverbs we read, "Whoever brings blessing will be enriched, and one who waters will himself be watered." Let us pray. Our gracious God, as our city leadership is gathered today, we humble ourselves before you in the important tasks at hand. We ask for your guidance and grace for this committee, and that these proceedings unfold in a calm, clear, and charitable manner. We ask for wisdom for our esteemed elected officials, and as those in positions of authority, grant them the strength to protect the general public. Give them eyes to see, ears to hear, and minds to perceive as they seek the refreshment and the common good of our community. By your grace, grant them willing hearts of sacrificial service for those they lead. I ask this through Christ our Lord. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Craig.
Thank you, Craig.
Thank you.
Roll call.
Commissioner Grantham.
Here.
Commissioner Bell.
Present?
Commissioner McFall.
Present.
County Attorney Bellis.
Present.
County Administrator Carochi.
Present.
Planning and Zoning Director Victoria. Absent.
Not present. He didn't have to be here today.
No reason to be, yeah.
Approval of the agenda.
Mr. Chair, we do have a pretty short agenda today, but I have no changes to make. I move to approve today's agenda as presented.
Second.
Has been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Bell.
Aye.
Commissioner McFall.
Aye.
Commissioner Grantham.
Aye.
Motion carries.
The consent agenda today, we have our typical course of business, as well as ratification of a signature, chairman's signature on an airport hangar lease, and 3 resolutions. They will be numbered in order 11, 12, and 13 for items number 4, 5, and 6 on the consent agenda. And for a brief explanation of item number 4, resolution number 11, I turn to our county attorney, Eric Bellis.
So with all 3 of these resolutions, we are simply formalizing action taken at prior board meetings. With respect to number 4, that one was taken at a meeting back in February of 2024. That is an amendment to the subdivision resolution regarding drainage. We did have a public hearing back in February of 2024. The board approved that amendment, and I simply missed it. So this is the formalization of that action.
Okay. Thank you for that, sir. I know it's a shock. We all just assume perfection that happens here. But
And it usually does.
we
Just ask us, right?
There are just ask us. There are these times where we have to come clean up our own messes. So here we are. Any further discussion or questions?
No, we are not scheduling any public hearings at this time either, but I have a motion if you're ready.
Please.
I move to approve the consent agenda.
Second?
It has been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner McFall.
Aye.
Commissioner Bell.
Aye.
Commissioner Grantham.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Next, we move on to our administrative and informational portion of our meeting. We begin with updates from our staff and elected officials. And first one out of the gate today will be our Fremont County Treasurer and Public Trustee, Kathy Elliott, and begin with the Public Trustee Quarterly Report. Kathy.
Good morning.
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 So foreclosures are creeping up a little bit. We ended with 22 for the second quarter. First quarter, we finished with 17. We also did approximately 100 more releases during the second quarter versus the first quarter, so I don't know what all that entails. We've had 3 new bankruptcies filed so far in 2025. So total bank files that we have in bankruptcy are 6. We've had 2 people that have come in and actually been able to cure their delinquent balances. Sales that we have deeded so far this year were 14. We've had 3 or 4 that have sold to outside bidders. Everything else has gone back to mortgage company or lender. So far we've started 42. We did restart 1 that did come out of bankruptcy. We have sold 16 foreclosures this year. We have withdrawn 24, but those are not all from this year, obviously. We have 14 VA loan foreclosures, and 4 of those have been withdrawn.
Okay.
We are selling a Mercy Today building tomorrow. As far as I know, we still have Super 8 on the books, and we still have the two mobile home parks. We're supposed to go tomorrow, but they have moved those as well. So,
Foreclosure sales.
yes.
Okay. Okay, any questions for our public trustee?
No questions, I have a motion.
Please.
Mr. Chair, I move to accept the public trustee quarterly report for the second quarter of 2025.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Bell?
Aye.
Commissioner McFall?
Aye.
Commissioner Grantham?
Aye.
Motion carries.
And now, as she switches her hat, there we go. We now turn to our treasurer, Kathy Elliott, for the semi-annual treasurer's report.
Well, first half is always good. We got a lot of tax money coming in. We did finish in June about $3 million up from last year. Not sure what that driving factor is. Finance might know that. But I think overall it's good news for us.
3 million up from 24
Same time
in
period.
the same, okay. I mean, that would be the taxes from the reassessment from 23, payable in 24, is that how that worked? I mean, is that why that would be, well, we'll talk when you get up here.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to figure out the calendar on that in my head real quick and why that would be, but,
Yes.
okay.
Yep.
All right, any questions, comments?
No, got a motion.
Please.
Move to accept the semi-annual treasurer's report.
Second.
Has been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner McFall?
Aye.
Commissioner Bell?
Aye.
Commissioner Grantham?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay. And our treasurer has an update on another matter that she'd like the public to know, and so please proceed.
Okay, so we are joining our association in launching a monthly property tax payment option through escrow taxes. The legislative committee or legislation has been trying for the last couple years at least of trying to figure out a way of allowing people to make payments throughout the year. And it would be astronomical expense for a lot of counties to have to come up with more computers, more people, and the software tracking system would have to be completely different. So we have joined with several other counties already that have signed up with escrow taxes. And what you do is you go in and you can search. I tried to do this yesterday. I searched by Kathy Elliott, it didn't take it, I searched by Elliott space Kathy, that didn't take it, I searched by my last name. You just have to put state, county, and then your name, just your last name, and it will bring it up. It will set, right now they have it estimated at 40% higher than what it was this year. My taxes are actually estimated to go higher than that. Anybody can go on the assessor's website and put in their account number, parcel number, and pull up their account, and it will show what their estimated taxes will be. Since we're unsure at this point of the status of the senior exemption, I think this is a great opportunity for people to start. So I went in, looked at my account. If I started this month, I could break the first half payment down into 8 payments, which that would help, I think would help a lot of people. We have a lot of people that struggle to make those first halves and second halves and even the full. And so we're trying to get people to access this. There is small fee to it. There is, to do an e-check or an ACH, it's $1 per transaction. For a debit or credit card, it is 2.5 of the transaction, 2.5% of the transaction, a minimum of $2. And the fees are displayed at checkout before they authorize it. Once those payments come in, then when first half is due, escrow taxes will then send us a file, and we will just upload all of those payments at that time. If you're long, you will be given the option to either get that money back or have it carry on over to the next year. If you're short, they will adjust your payments as needed. Once we get the tax roll in December, then we'll have more of a final number of what the taxes will be.
So does the escrow company that is doing this service, are they sending you the February and June payment?
Yes.
Or just like a regular escrow company
Yeah.
would be doing for a mortgage company?
Yes.
So for folks that are wondering what this might be, we take for granted sometimes when we make our mortgage payments that we have escrow that's included in that principal and interest. Those escrows for taxes and insurance are part of our payment, more often than not. This will help folks that may be on fixed income that have paid their mortgage off. They own their house, and they're shocked every February when it's time to pay the taxes. And this will actually help them basically escrow it just as if they still had a mortgage.
Correct.
And then they can pay that out over the course of time the year before. So it's escrowed in so it can be paid the next February and June by the mortgage company or escrow company.
Correct.
So is that
Yeah.
basically it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
I have a quick question.
Yes.
If I may. It sounds like the program is paid for through the, what was it, a 2.5% that folks are charged when they use this? So I'm understanding, I just want to double check and make sure, this is not costing the county anything, is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely nothing.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, good question. It's an additional service that for the homeowner's convenience, the taxpayer's convenience, if they want to go through this. Obviously, anybody can save it themselves
Well,
every
and
month and
it's
do
big
this, but
and it is big in Fremont County because we have probably 1/5 of our accounts that are paid by mortgage companies.
right.
And a lot of other counties, 75% of theirs are paid by mortgage companies.
And
So,
how much is ours?
like 1/5.
Why that difference, do you know?
I don't know if it's people have their homes paid off here.
Interesting.
So I think this could be very impactful in a good way for our citizens here.
Well, good. What's the best way to get more information on this then?
So they can scan the UR code, they can go to escrow taxes, it's really easy to sign in. And everything, any issues, any customer service or anything that they need is escrow taxes is going to handle all of that.
Okay. Maybe this is something that we can put a post together for our Facebook page and maybe get something on the website as well that people can link to. For the 99% that goes, you are what?
Yeah.
And we can get this brochure on there as well.
Yes.
So, thank you, Kathy.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it. And
You're
if there's
welcome.
any questions, can they give you a call?
They can give me a call.
And the number at the treasurer's office?
At the treasurer's office, 719-276-7380. And like I said, any technical questions, I really don't have that because escrow taxes will be handling all of that, so.
Well, we send all technical questions to the county administrator.
That was just wrong.
And what was that phone number?
Well, good morning.
Ouch. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Much
Thanks, Kathy.
appreciated. Next, we have our sales and use tax report. Mr. Sean Sutton, our budget and finance officer.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Morning, all. Before I get started, I just want to welcome you all back. I hope you had a fabulous time at NACO and Philly and took in some of the sites and ate a lot of good food.
We did.
Absolutely.
Good deal. To get started this morning, I'll be going over the retail sales tax, auto use sales tax, and then the lodging report for May and June 2025. May for general fund totaled $844,584. This is $12,756 more than 2024. Year to date, we sit at $804. This is $86,104 less than 2024. However, we are ahead of budget by $167,804. The next report is our auto use sales tax report. This is for June, totaled $174,172. This is $47,964 more than 2024. Year-to-date, we sit at $760,656 collected, which is $31,416 more than 2024. And versus budget, we're $123,156 ahead. This was, again, kind of an unexpected number that came through after talking with Justin and Dottie. This was a finalization of a transfer of ownership from 2024 and kind of getting some of those odds and ends collected for this year, which happened last year. So not something that we expect, but I think I've said that the last couple years, so maybe becoming a little bit more expected than not. But I guess we'll continue to watch that and monitor it. Next is the lodging report for May. You'll see a large increase here. As I spoke about, the state has changed their system a little bit, and I think they're still trying to marry up the quarterly collection. So you'll see March was off pretty significantly. A collection for April, which again, should have been a quarterly collection. And now in May, we total $32,263, which is $32,067 more than 2024. Again, I fully expect that June will be reduced by that amount, so maybe close to a $60,000 collection. Seems like the lodging has been fairly active here in Fremont County. Seems like a lot of the hotels are full, and we obviously have a lot of events going on. So we'll monitor that, but hopefully we can kind of gain some stability here and get these numbers kind of back on pace. But overall, we sit at $92,322. This is $37,886 more than 2024. But slightly behind budget at $49,345. Again, we should have 2 quarterly collections, one in June, and then to follow up in September. Fully anticipate that we get right back on budget here.
If the state can report the correct numbers.
Don't
Thank you.
hold your breath, sir.
Yeah. If we can hope.
The next report is for our sheriff's retail sales tax collection for May, which totaled $563,056. This is $8,504 more than 2024. Year-to-date collections, we sit at $2,445,202. This is $57,403 less than 2024. And again, slightly behind budget at $33,965. Again, I fully anticipate that we make up that $33,965, potentially even next month, but certainly by the end of September. Sheriff auto use sales tax collection for June totaled $116,115. This is $31,976 more than 2024. Year-to-date, we sit at $507,105, which is $20,944 more than 2024, and then ahead of budget by $89,605. So, as we talked about over the last couple months, start off a little bit slow here in Fremont County for the retail sales tax and auto use sales tax collections. But this report obviously is kind of catching up and a little bit more normal than what we've seen over the last, or I guess the first quarter. Any questions?
No? Any questions from either of you?
No, I don't have a question. I just would repeat once again, I so appreciate the way that we budget and being so conservative with the numbers. And we all thought that this year was going to go a little bit south. It hasn't gone south, fortunately, the way that we thought it could. So these numbers are actually really good to see. Thanks, Sean.
You're welcome.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
You bet.
All right.
Thanks, sure.
Thank you.
Now turn to our county administrator. For his,
Morning, Mr.
for his
Chair,
report.
Commissioners.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning, everyone. So I'll start off with a number of job opportunities that we have posted throughout the county. In our clerk and recorder's office, we have a motor vehicle clerk 2 that closes on July the 30th. Our Department of Transportation, we have a fleet services clerk that closes on July 30th. Department of Human Services, we have 2 job postings. One is a school-based resource liaison that closes on July the 29th. And we have a social caseworker that closes, today's the 22nd, right?
Yes.
Thursday the 24th. Sheriff's Department, we have a deputy detention posting that closes on July the 29th. And in our Public Health Department, we have a director position that closes July the 28th. So for more information about employment opportunities with Fremont County, please visit our county website at fremontcountyco.gov, or you can call our HR department at 719-276-7409. Just another continued reminder that our Vital Records Department of Public Health is still operating with limited hours at Garden Park. They are 8 a.m. till 1 p.m. Monday through Thursday. And if you need access to vital records outside of those hours, you can contact the Department of Public Health and Environment, their Vital Records Department at 719-583-4555, or you can contact Chaffey County Vital Records Department at 719-539-4510. Another reminder that our County Assessor's Office has temporarily moved to Garden Park, / Public Health Building. We anticipate a return to the County Administration Building by October the 15th. This temporary relocation is necessary to facilitate the removal of asbestos and a comprehensive remodel of the current office space. Members of the public may continue to contact the Assessor's Office Monday through Thursday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. By telephone, 719-276-7310, or you can email Stacy Seifert at stacy.seifert@fremontcountyco.gov. You can also visit our Fremont County website at fremontcountyco.gov, or you can visit the assessor's website and click on the public record search. And finally, the Department of Human Services will be closed this Thursday, July the 24th, to allow for all staff to participate in their quarterly professional development day. The building will reopen on Friday, July 26th at 7:30 a.m. for normal operations. That's all I have, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you, sir. Any
Thanks, Tommy.
comments or questions?
I don't think so.
All right.
Thank
well,
you.
And we move on to comments from our other elected officials. That would be us. So, anything?
I got a few things.
Sir?
Let's see. So as Sean mentioned, we just came back from National Association of Counties Conference in Philadelphia. It was a great conference. We are all part of steering committees, which we have a federal voice. Everybody in the nation seems to have a lot of the same troubles we do. There's some different opinions of some things, but it's pretty interesting. I serve on the Public Land Steering Committee, as well as the Western Interstate Region, which is there are 17 western states. And I am now the first vice president of the WIR. Next year I'll be president of that. But we have a very, very good, powerful voice with Congress when it comes to issues in our public lands and our agriculture and stuff. So we keep working with them. What do we call it? Negotiating rather than fighting them, I guess. But it's a really good venue for us to be in, and we're fighting for not only Colorado but Fremont County. So it's worth our while. The other commissioners are on steering committees as well, other ones. We were able to get a couple of resolutions. Each steering committee has resolutions. I carried one myself that I'd got passed last year, which goes through the steering committee and then to the full NACO body. And mine, and as well as Commissioner Bell's, got passed through. So now it is part of the platform of the NACO to continually lobby Congress for those issues. And so we're working hard for Fremont County, and we'll continue to do so. I want to mention that the fair starts Friday, the 25th. Thursday, the 24th, Friday, the 25th. Friday, the 25th, the fair starts. There's a ribbon cutting Friday night at 5:45 in the arena right before the junior rodeo. Encourage everyone to come out and support the rodeo, but support the fair. So the fair will get underway. It goes to the 25th through August 2nd. Which ends with the Buyer's Day, which is where the kids get to sell their animals that they've spent a lot of time on. During the week, there'll be the shows where they get their placings and stuff, but the Buyer's deal is Saturday, August 2nd, followed by a Colorado Pro Rodeo Association rodeo. Friday the 1st is Family Day. Welcome everybody to come out there and bring your kids, have fun. There's Salida Circus, there's probably a dunk tank. There's all kinds of fun stuff to do all day long. So I encourage everybody to do that. I also encourage everybody to, it's not just for 4-H and FFA kids, it's for anyone. There's an open fair competition. If you have vegetables that you've grown, flowers that you've grown, flower arrangements, paintings, quilts, you're welcome to enter those into the open fair. You can get a hold of the extension office at 276-7390. It's also on our website. But anybody's encouraged to enter into that and make that open competition more of a competition. We've been kind of lacking in projects the last few years, so I encourage everybody to get out and do that. And then encourage people to come out and see the fair, see the work that the kids have done with their projects inside, whether it be baking, leather craft, sewing, whatever that is. And then the animals out under the pavilion. And it's going to be a fun week again, so looking forward to that. And then as always, it's just getting drier and drier out there. We're getting a few evening showers, but the fuels out there are still really dry and getting drier, so be very careful when you're out and about and don't start any fires, because only you can prevent forest fires. Thanks, sir.
Thank you, Commissioner. Yes, encourage everybody to get out there and participate in this year's Fremont County Fair and take in the exhibits and the open fair competition. Participate in that, as Commissioner McFall said. As one of those who has zero measurable talent in most of those areas, I still love to actually go and look at other people's abilities and talents and their craft abilities. I don't know.
I'll tell you, there's an event as well that even if you don't have those talents, but you were maybe in 4-H or FFA and you showed animals once upon a time, there is an old timers show and showmanship. So you can go out there and borrow an animal from one of those kids that have an animal out there and show us how talented you are or think you are as a showman. And they're actually having a jackpot in Calcutta show. So I guess that's throw out a challenge out there, right?
I am
Come out there and say,
at the point in my life where when I deal with animals, it's my first step is turning on the grill.
that's after the sale on Saturday.
That's
not,
after
yeah, that's
the
not
sale.
Friday. Yeah.
I can't believe you went there.
I did. Okay. Speaking of all the 4-H shows, the market beef, the swine show, goats, sheep,
Goats,
and
yeah, rabbits.
Rabbits, turkey.
all those will be happening over the course of the next, let's see, that's
Week.
next
Yep.
week.
Yep.
When most of those will be taking place, I think Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday-ish. So if you like going and watching the kids display their animals, please get on the calendar and check out when those happen. And cheer on the kids as they are showing their animals. They put in a whole lot of hard work to get to that point, and I know they appreciate our participation in doing that. So, okay. I guess for my part, just on announcements, again, Philadelphia and the NACO annual meetings and convention was very beneficial. Definitely enjoyed. I enjoy Philadelphia just because of the history of it and being able to be in that city where the signing of the Declaration, some of the first Congresses after the adoption of the Constitution, and just being able to be in that same place. I was talking about that with folks yesterday about just being able to stand in the same locations as our founding fathers. Is
Amazing.
significant. Had the same experience in Boston a few years ago, being able to stand in some of those same places where our founding fathers did what they did and what we celebrate every July 4th. So that and the steering committees and some of the other events that we had with the NACO conference, Commissioner McFall mentioned some of the import of that when we talk about our dealings on a much larger scale than like we do with Colorado Counties Incorporated. On a state level, this has more federal implications and some of our advocacy. I sit on the Finance, Pensions, and Intergovernmental Affairs Committee. It's a mouthful, which basically just says finance and everything else is what intergovernmental affairs means. It's the catch-all for stuff that doesn't fit in the other 20 or however many steering committees there are. There are a bunch of them. But elections is one of those things. Oddly enough, elections doesn't have its own committee, but it falls under the intergovernmental affairs. And so a lot of things that were advocated and talked about in that committee, and we got to debate and discuss and negotiate, as Commissioner McFall said. One of the things that we did on the Monday, the second to last day of the, or actually the last day.
The last day.
Last day of the meetings was we got to do a little impromptu kind of radio show out there. If you haven't heard, we are doing our One Fremont podcast. I keep saying radio show. It's not a radio show.
Not a radio show.
We're not broadcasting. It is a podcast that we are doing in lieu of the fact that we no longer have a radio station, so we can get critical information out there. But we did one there in the main hall, the Great Hall at the Philadelphia Convention Center, and that is currently on our YouTube channel. And so if you want to listen to that, and we talk about much of what we just mentioned and other things when it comes to our experience there in Philadelphia at the NACO annual meetings. We also have a couple of other meetings, or a couple of other podcasts that we did over the last month or so on our YouTube channel. It's easy to find. Also did a recording yesterday with some of our local community activists for our Colorado Citizens Against Toxic Waste and the Citizens Advisory Group, including Jerry Fry and Carol Dunn and Emily Tracy. Did a little show, and they talked about where they're at and what their involvement has been in that issue and some of the important matters related to that currently. So if you want to listen to that, I believe that is on or will be on shortly. Will be on? Will be on shortly. There's a voice coming from the corner.
It's the wizard, I'm telling you. It's our wizard behind the curtains.
Do not look behind the curtain. And so that will be on, so I hear, shortly-ish. But we will continue to do that, and we'll have updates from other elected officials, from hopefully in the future, department heads, talking about some of the services that were offered here at the county, and of course our regular show as well, that we want to get out information to folks in our county and to the millions of people that pay attention to the goings-on in Fremont County. Commissioner Bell.
Yes, sir. So thank you for your indulgence this morning, Mr. Chair. I've been getting some questions that I thought probably needed to be addressed on the public forum. And so I actually have a written statement this morning I would like to read, which is very unusual for me. You all know that I just start talking for the most part.
Oh, we
so,
know.
Yes, we know. I said they knew. So, okay. So I was a junior at Florence High School the first time that I ever considered becoming a Fremont County Commissioner. Growing up in Penrose, I was 16 years old and had been urging my dad to run for this seat because I felt it was a natural fit for him. For many reasons, he would have been a great commissioner. It was during one of these conversations with him when he finally told me, Deborah Lynn, and I said, oh, crap, I'm in trouble, it's both names. If anyone in this family is ever going to become a county commissioner, it's going to have to be you. Well, that was a very short consideration for me. I laughed and I told him, I can't do that, Dad. I'm a girl. I rarely saw my father get angry, but I still remember the look on his face that day when he told me, never let someone else tell you what you can and cannot do. So, lesson learned. My dad opened that door for me, and decades later, I finally walked through it as the first woman ever to be elected as a Fremont County Commissioner. Now, almost 15 years since my first election, I can say it's been one heck of a ride. Being a county commissioner definitely has its ups and downs, but I can honestly say there have been many more ups than there have been downs, and I wouldn't change a minute of the last 15 years. Words aren't enough to express the gratitude and respect that I have for my Fremont County community. I am deeply humbled that our citizens have put me back into the seat 3 more times. I am in awe of the incredible folks that I have the opportunity to work with every single day, from our constituents to my fellow commissioners, both past and present, our other elected officials, our county administration, department heads, supervisors, and every single line staff member who serves you, the public, every single day. I've had the opportunity to make some really good decisions alongside my fellow commissioners. Together, I believe we have done some great work here. United States President Ronald Reagan, my personal hero, once said, "There is no limit to the amount of good you can do if you don't care who gets the credit." I have never cared who gets the credit. Let's just roll up our sleeves and get the work done. But as we've all heard before, all good things must come to an end. So I sit here today with a heart full of gratitude to tell all of you I have made the decision to not seek a 5th term as your Fremont County Commissioner for District 2. Don't get me wrong, I am not leaving yet. I'm not resigning. I absolutely will finish out my term. I will continue to work hard and to fight the good fight for the next 1.5 years. And on January 12th of 2027, I will hand over the reins to the newly elected commissioner as I leave my office for the last time. I look forward to finishing my commitment here, but I also look forward to the freedom that retirement will offer. I'm excited to travel and spend more time with my family. I also look forward to unknown opportunities because, as Mr. Rogers, he of the famous neighborhood, once said, often when you think you're at the end of something, you're at the beginning of something else. So, thank you. Thank you all for an amazing 14 and a half years so far. I look forward to the next year and a half of continued service to this community that means so very much to me. God bless you all. God bless Fremont County, and may God bless this great United States of America. Thank you.
The only thing I remember Mr. Rogers saying is, won't you be my neighbor? No, Debbie, yeah, thanks for that. That's probably hard to say. We've been giving her a hard time, but we're not going to let her leave, but I guess we really can't control that. So look forward to the next year and a half with you, and we'll keep up the good work.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Commissioner. Of course, we got to discuss this a little bit yesterday in anticipation of this, and so even then, I got the forewarning, and I asked for the forewarning, just so I'd be prepared to say something, and I'm still really not all that well prepared. We still do have a year and a half, and I'm looking forward to that, and we'll have all the mean things to say in, next December.
Let's just do that part in private, shall we?
But there's it's significant, what's going on today, because 16 years, it will be 16 years at the end of next year. That's a significant thing in Fremont County history. And what'd you say, 32 years was the...
32 years is the record.
Is the record in a Fremont.
Back in the 1950s.
So back in the day, there was somebody that served a long time. So the good news is that we'll convince her to go for 4 more terms.
Because I think, yeah, you said, you couldn't do that because you were a girl. You can do this because you are a girl, so 4 more terms.
So thank you, Commissioner, for all your service. And we continue to look forward to the next year and a half and see where the chips fall as far as somebody that will attempt to replace you in your spot. And so thank you for all the good work you've done, and thank you for letting us know.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate that. This is like listening to a preacher, on a Sunday morning, and he spends, a half hour, 45 minutes on his introduction, and now we're getting to the actual meat of the sermon. So here we are. We're actually up to our new business. There is no old business. Oh, we have citizens who wish to address.
Yes.
Thank you. We see, boy, I've been on a roll the last few weeks in this. Are there any citizens who wish to address the commissioners on a matter not scheduled on the agenda? Seeing none. Now, no old business on the new business. Our first order of business, and thank you all for being here, we have a proclamation recognizing the Canyon City Elks, number 610, 125th anniversary celebration. And here is our exalted ruler. I love calling her the Grand Poobah.
The Grand Poobah.
She is our Grand Poobah. Our exalted ruler, Jennifer Irvin. Jennifer, take it away. And if you would like to, at some point, read this proclamation for us, we would love to have you do that.
Oh, I didn't bring a copy of it.
Oh,
We can loan you one.
we definitely have something we can help you with there.
Usually, in my experience, one of the wonderful commissioners has read that for us.
If you would like me to, I'd be honored to.
Yes.
Okay.
But I do have a few comments.
Please.
Good evening, Chairman Grantham, Board of County Commissioners, and administrative staff. My name is Jennifer Irvin, and as Commissioner Grantham said, I have the privilege of serving as the current president or exalted ruler of the Canyon City Elks Lodge. It's a true honor to stand before you aside many fellow lodge members. We have several here, Gary Ashby, Suzanne Ashby. Your county coroner, Randy Keller, is a member. Also Gregory Carlson. Your county administrator, Tony Carochi, is also a member. And then also our chairman of the board, Kevin Grantham, is also a member. So very glad to have many of those here today with me. And as we receive this proclamation, I wanted to share a few words about an organization that has made such a profound impact across our nation and also our community, the Benevolent and Protective Order of Elks, also just known as the Elks. We were founded in 1868, and the Elks has grown to one of America's largest and most respected fraternal and charitable organizations. Locally, we have over 386 members and more than 800,000 members nationally, spanning 2,000 communities nationwide. The Elks are dedicated to serving our country and our communities. Membership in the Elks, for those of you who are not members, are open to U.S. citizens, 21 years of age or older, who must believe in God, are sponsored by a current member in good standing from any lodge across the United States, and locally, you need to pay a $50 application fee. Membership in the Elks is amazing, and at the heart of our order are the four cardinal virtues: charity, justice, brotherly love, and fidelity. Our commitment to these values is reflected in our ongoing support for veterans, youth, and local community initiatives. Here in Canyon City, our lodge has served as a cornerstone of the community since its founding, July 30th, 1900. The original lodge was instituted at Schaefer Hall at the corner of 4th and Main with 44 members. In time, we acquired Bailey Corner at 4th and Macon, the site where our historic building still stands today, having hosted its first meeting there in 1912. As a part of our tradition, each meeting includes the Pledge of Allegiance, opens and closes with prayer, underscoring our dedication to American values and community fellowship. Each year, the Elks invest in benevolent, educational, and patriotic programs that benefit children's, veterans, and communities across our country. Just last year, the Elks provided an incredible $800 million in charitable support, awarded $12 million in scholarships, $27 million in community programs, and gave over $40 million in support of our veterans. Here in our own community, I could stand up here all day and talk about all the programs that we have, but just some of those that I wanted to mention is that we host a Flag Day program at Bruce McCandless Veterans Home, and we do that in coordination with our sister lodge, Florence Elks 611. We also have a local hoop shoot in which we send kids to nationals, the National Hoop Shoot, and in 2015 we had a national winner, Jerica Moore. And at the age of 21, she immediately joined our lodge, so that's really great. We also have a soccer shoot, a bowling tournament, Christmas baskets, and veterans move-in baskets. Last year, we donated $5,000 directly to local veterans programs, over $6,000 directly to local youth, and we've dedicated thousands of hours in supporting our military, veterans, and youth. We also have a club bar and hold social events for members, and rent out our event space to the public. We are so excited to have our 125th anniversary celebration open to the public this Saturday, July 26th at the Lodge at 4th and Macon. Festivities will run from noon to 10, and we will have street games, guided lodge tours, a celebration with lodge history presentation with past exalted ruler Randy Keller, and State President J.R. Cruz, and that will happen at 4 p.m. We also will have happy hour in the courtyard with live music, a street dance with a band from 6 to 10 p.m., food trucks, charity dunk tanks, and benefiting CASA, and then raffle drawings benefiting our youth and veterans. We'll also have a cash bar. I brought you informational flyers, and for those who you are not members, you also have a membership application. And we also gave you a special anniversary, 125th anniversary pin. We warmly invite you and the public to our historic lodge to discover more about the Elks and to see firsthand how you can be a part of this enduring tradition of service and fellowship. We just want to thank you for your ongoing support and for helping us carry forth the Elks legacy in our community. That's all I had.
Thank you, ma'am. Well, how about I read this, and then we'll have some comments. This is the proclamation in honor of the day of celebration of the Canyon City Elks 125th anniversary, whereas the Benevolent and Protective Order of Elks, BPOE, is an American fraternal order and charitable organization founded in 1868 in New York City. And whereas the Elks Lodge number 610, which has a storied history, was founded in 1900 and still thrives at 404 Macon Avenue in Canyon City, Colorado. And whereas Elks Lodge number 610 invests in its community through programs that help entertain, encourage, and inspire children and young people to grow up healthy and drug-free, and honors, assists local veterans, and much more. And whereas Elks Lodge number 610 is so much more than just a building or other physical amenities, but a place where neighbors come together, families share meals, and members gather for fellowship and good-natured camaraderie. And whereas on Saturday, July 26, 2025, in celebration of this historic milestone, Elks Lodge number 610 will open its doors for the celebratory occasion for a festive day filled with games, music, and general frivolity, free of charge to the public. Now therefore let it be proclaimed by the County Commissioners of Fremont County that Saturday, July 26, 2025 is Canyon City Elks 125th Anniversary Day of Celebration in honor of Elks members and Lodge leadership over the past 125 years. Be it further resolved that the County Commissioners urge all people of Fremont County to recognize and celebrate the 125th anniversary of the Canyon City Elks number 610 on July 26, 2025, signed by us. Thank you, Jen. Really appreciate it. This is a huge milestone, and looking forward to this celebration. And honestly, one of the reasons joined this lodge, this organization, is just all the good things they do, plus the camaraderie that we do have with each other. You know, despite some of the company that you have to keep, like elected officials, especially coroners and things like that, you know, that are also members. It is thoroughly enjoyable and a profitable endeavor, profitable in the sense of community involvement and outreach and building up those around us. And so it is a privilege to be able to do this for number 610. Anything else?
Of course, yes, Mr. Chair. I think everyone knows the Elks, right? It's just, you have been around for a very, very long time. In fact, I can tell you how long they've been around. I was a student Elk when I was in high school, so it's been many, many years ago.
It's like 124
many
years.
Many years ago. That's what I'm saying, yes. But my kids also were student of the month for the Elks Club. They participated in the hoop shoot. I just think that some of those things that you do that are geared toward children and family, let everybody know who you are and what you do, and that gives you a greater platform to be able to do greater, better works here in Fremont County. So I would just say thank you to you, Jen, and to all of you, to every Elk that we have, not only the ones here in the room today, but all of those who are not with us in the room. And congratulations, we'll be celebrating with you. Thanks for everything you do.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll just kind of add to that. My kids were both involved in the hoop shoot and everything, and so appreciate that. I've been to several events at the Elks, and though I'm not an Elk, I've always been welcome, so it's nice to feel that way. And I think it's great that there are younger folks that get into organizations like that to keep them vibrant and moving. As you mentioned, the coroner's there, and he's one of the older ones, so they're trying to, I get where they're headed with this, but on the little brochure, the little handout you gave us that shows the schedule of events, there's cornhole, outdoor water fights, other outdoor fun stuff, and then there's water bucket challenge. I know water bucket pong. Beer pong, you gotta drink the beer. Does this mean you're drinking a bucket of water? No, I'm just kidding.
You might.
I can fill it up with something other than water. No, it looks like a fun day, but I'm going to be at the fair, darn it. But I thank you guys for what you do for the youth, especially as we know the children and the youth are our future, and they do need all the help they can get. So thank you guys. And with that, I have a motion if you're ready, Mr. Chair.
Please.
I move to approve this proclamation Let me figure out where we are here on my deal. For Elks Lodge 610, for the 125th year anniversary celebration, which will take place July 26, 2025.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner McFall?
Aye.
Commissioner Bell?
Aye.
Commissioner Grantham?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank
I
you.
think we would like to get a picture with you,
We would love.
and even all of you. So all the Elks have to come down here.
Okay, and then one with this one. I was making sure that wasn't upside down. Okay, thank you, Miss Carrie.
Well, I guess it's all fair.
Good job, kiddo.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. On to our last item of business this morning. We're going to have a discussion on I should probably say a potential ballot measure regarding House Bill 25-1247 regarding lodging tax expansion. And with us today is the Mr. President, Adam Arnold from our Tourism Council. And he'll be talking about this with us, and probably have Mr. Bellis as well give some idea as far as ballot language. But just to kind of introduce this to folks, House Bill 25-1247 expanded some of the uses, the potential uses for lodging tax. I don't have the language sitting in front of me, so I'll probably have Mr. Bellis address some of that directly. But it basically gives a laundry list of things that it can be used for. But it also raised the potential ceiling, if approved by voters, to go from 2% to 6%. Now, these are taxes that are collected by hotels, basically on the daily rates. And so this is one of those taxes that is paid for and collected, even the 2% here in the county, that is not directly paid by the citizens of Fremont County, but by those who stay here. And the lodging tax is used by the Tourism Council for marketing, to market our county, to bring folks in, basically giving us our summer months of tourism boost, filling putting beds in heads, filling our hotels, and putting people up at the gorge and the sites and all the other places around the county that are draws for people from not just around the state, but literally around the world. And so that is the current use of the lodging tax, and will continue to be. But what the discussion will be is whether or not we put a measure on the ballot that would increase that amount to give the Tourism Council the ability to expand their marketing of Fremont County around the state and around the nation and around the globe. And Adam will talk about that a little bit. But I think, Eric, it might be helpful if you have that handy, the language, the statutory language as far as the different uses. I'm trying to remember the wording as far as what the current use is versus the ones that they added.
So the current use is essentially promotion of tourism and enhancing visitor experience. What has been added to the statute would be housing and childcare for the tourism-related workforce, including seasonal workers and for other workers in the community, or public infrastructure, maintenance or improvements, or enhancing public safety measures, funding local law enforcement, fire protection services, and emergency medical services.
Okay. So I think the discussions that I've had with folks is that this basically creates a pick from the list kind of things that could be put to the voters. If the cap is increased from 2% up to, and anywhere in between, 2 and 6%, the voters would also be able to approve in the same ballot measure which additional uses of those funds that money could go to.
That is correct. So any potential ballot measure would need to include those things which the Tourism Council or the county proposes to spend the money on from that laundry list.
Okay. And I think, the promotion of tourism, and then there's the last one is basically the catch-all, anything else that would be
related in any way to public safety, including law enforcement,
All right.
Emergency medical services, fire services, anything like that. Also, the new law, House Bill 241247, also authorizes those funds to be spent on maintenance or improvement of public infrastructure.
Essentially, as far as public infrastructure, we're mostly talking about roads, of course.
Yes, that's in Fremont County, it would be essentially roads.
Essentially roads in Fremont County, which is something appropriate to talk about when we talk about increased traffic on certain roads, in particular, County Road 3A, going from 50 up to the gorge, is a county road and has significantly more traffic than many other roads in our county for obvious reasons. And this would be able to help us be able to keep that up better. We see other counties that are actually dealing with situations of state parks and other things, and they have county roads leading up to these and no help with that infrastructure cost and no ability to pick up that slack when you don't have that extra help from state traffic going to a state park with all and all the burden being placed upon the county. This is a little bit different situation with the tourism tax, the lodging tax, I should say. And so, again, this is open for discussion. Adam, I would really appreciate it if you'd come on up and give your take on this, and let's just talk about it and discuss it. I think what is probably the most important thing that we need to be aware of and why we put this on here today is that we do have a deadline coming up as far as giving notification to the clerk that we intend to put something on the ballot. And what that ballot measure looks like at this point is still up in the air. And the ballot measure can go on or still not go on at some point in the future, but we do have to give notification to the clerk that this is our intent to put something on the ballot. And we don't know exactly what that is yet, and that will obviously be determined before we get to that point. But we wanted to have the discussion today about this. And so, Adam, go ahead and take it away, introduce yourself, and let us know what your take and Tourism Council's take is.
Yeah, hit
Please-
the button.
please
Yeah,
touch
that'll-
that button.
That'll turn it on. There you go.
Thank you, Your Excellency. So, if those who don't know me, I'm the Tourism Council Chairperson. I'm a volunteer. I have a day job as a consultant. I also own a small business here in town that is a lodging entity. So, what we're essentially discussing, and again, this is my vision of taking this in a direction, is essentially not adding on any of those additional options, but essentially increasing the tax, using it to leverage it to market the community more, to increase the revenue for this region, but then also giving us some options for continuity. So for those that don't know, I'm a volunteer position, but this position requires a lot of work, not a little bit, a lot. A lot of calls with the state, a lot of calls with our contractors. It's just a lot of work. It requires engaging in the community. It requires engaging with small business owners. It requires doing temperature checks for how the economy is doing from a tourism standpoint. It requires reviewing some of the marketing initiatives from our contractors. It requires calls and conferences with the state. It requires PTO time for me, for my day job. It requires time away from my business. It requires a lot. And the tourism industry is actually a pretty significant part of the economy here. I think when you look at it from a whole, it's somewhere around $100 million. So when you think about the economic impact, it's touching every day of your life. Every beer you drink, every burger you eat, it's subsidized by tourism. A lot of the places that you eat pizza, that you hang out with friends, those places may not be here if we didn't have tourism money coming in. It's a significant impact on the economy here. And so my goal is to continue that, increase that, and, benefit the entire county with the tourism money. It's really just a subsidization of the way we live. So that's my perspective. That's my take on it. I would like to see some sort of continuity in terms of a staff person, either a tourism director or whatever you call it. Tourism czar, it doesn't matter, chairperson, commissioner, whatever. I don't care, it's a name. But somebody that can oversee continuity, engagement with the state, grant initiatives, touch with the tourism businesses, make sure the temperature's right, and move the chairperson role into someone that helps oversee this and not do the work. So.
Do you, as far as how much are you looking at the 2 to 6%?
I think we're looking at the 6%, going from 2 to 6.
But none of the additional uses such as
I
the
don't think so. I think
infrastructure?
the only questionable section we have in our proposed budget is going to be enhancing the tourism experience. And so I don't know I think that falls under the existing, and again, this is a question maybe more for Eric than me, but we have one line item in our proposed changes that is essentially what we call a tourism improvement fund for anything involving enhancing the tourism experience. So this could be things like trail enhancements. This could be things like a porta potty at a trailhead. This could be things like, a community water feature in Howard. It could be a feature to showcase the apple orchards in Penrose. I mean, something that essentially is showcasing the region, but also enhancing the experience at the same time. So that would be the focus of that fund.
Okay.
And a shell account for myself.
And every time you say something like that, in this context, you have to go, just joking.
Oh,
Just
sorry.
joking.
Just joking.
Okay. I just had a thought, and I'm trying to remember where I was going with it. Any questions for Mr. Arnold? I think probably one of the things I want to go, where I want to go is what is the current 2% revenue? And then,
Yeah, the approximate 2% revenue right now is $350,000 a year. The proposed increase would make it $1.05 million.
okay.
I don't have a question, but I have a comment.
Sure.
So you mentioned it to start with, but this is paid by folks that stay here, whether it be in a bed and breakfast or a motel or something like that. It's not directly affected you unless you stay in a motel here, which you pay in most every other place too. And I would imagine the counties all the way around us are going to do this same thing or something very similar to it. So it's nothing out of the norm. However, what I worry about with what you just said is that you want to expand it. Some people don't want more tourists to come here, so they're going to vote against that for that
That's right.
reason, whether it's
That's
right
valid.
or not. What you just said is almost like a pitch for a job for you or someone else to
I'm
get
not
paid.
interested in
No,
the job.
I'm just saying, that's what it sounded like, though. To get paid for that through this money, where, in my opinion, and other folks too, infrastructure is more important than that paid position, and most people don't know what you talked about, or how much time it takes for you to do this job. I do, I know what you mean, because I've been in Kevin's spot in this part of it, and I see that. So I think for a campaign, you've got to be able to explain to people why it's important to do what you want to do with this extra money. But the perfect example is County Road 3A that goes to the bridge. It's so impacted by the traffic on there. The resources that we have, it is a county road. We can't just go up there and keep that road paved, but a little bit of this money could keep that road paved. We have others as well that lead to forest trailheads, to different things like that tourists come here and just beat the heck out of our public lands. So there is a lot of infrastructure. I think a trail would be an infrastructure too, not just an upkeep of however you explain it. So I think you got to be careful in how you propose this to the voting public because of those things that I just said. In one, a lot of us hate taxes to start with. It won't affect me unless I stay in a motel here. I get it, but you got to get that message across as well.
Those are all valid points, for sure.
I think one of the things that we will need to keep open for discussion, Adam, is, and with the Tourism Council, is a couple of these usages that would honestly make it maybe more worth our while for putting a measure on the ballot. The public safety one and the infrastructure one are, I think, kind of important aspects to look at how we can incorporate that into this potential new funding mechanism. And while that does cut into the marketing, we would need to be able to take care of the impacts on the front end with the increase that would also come.
Yeah, if I may, Mr. Chair, I meant to mention that too. Search and rescue is completely a volunteer and grant-funded or donation-funded organization. And a lot of these tourists, these guys have to go out and rescue them, find them and different things. And so that is another very important piece of that, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that we need to really, I think, talk about. We're not maybe going to get to the end of that conversation today.
Yeah.
But it is something I think that we would need to have discussions about with, in regard to the potential uses. I doubt that there's any interest, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I doubt that there's any interest in using it for the affordable housing aspect of this. I think that is something that we want to stay miles away from in managing that kind of thing. These other aspects, when it comes to public safety and when it comes to infrastructure, maintenance and repair, those are things that government, county government in particular, is already in the business of. And we can allocate as necessary to those agencies, be it the Sheriff's Department or others, Road and Bridge, where the impacts are going to happen with increased traffic, because we are wildly successful with our marketing campaign from all that extra 4%. So just FYI, let's keep talking about that as far as what the potential uses are and how that's allocated. Ultimately, that'll be kind of up to us how we do that. But you guys have to, obviously, the Tourism Council, and if there is a staff person that whatever they're called, as you say.
Czar.
Yeah.
The czar. How that functionally happens within the budget, and what we'd be, and what these three would be willing to approve, let alone what a future commission might be able to approve on that. So
The only thing I'll say about some of those additions is the amount of money post-marketing efforts is not really significant. I don't have any idea what it costs to put fill a pothole with asphalt. I don't know what that number is. But I imagine it's higher than I would think. And I just don't know how much of a dent this money would put into any of those initiatives. And that's my concern really, is are you just throwing money into a never-ending bucket? And so my focus is to be a good steward of it and focus it on what its intended purpose is, and that is to bring more revenue to the county. So whether you want tourism or not, the revenue is here. Whether you want tourism or not, people are going to come. You might as well tax that money. You might as well build, the proper marketing and plan accordingly for that and support the businesses that are essentially paying this bill for you. So that's my 2 cents.
One thing I would like to add to the conversation is if we choose to move forward with a ballot issue for this November, I think it's important that folks know and understand that no tax funding will be put forth toward this ballot measure. So staff time will not be used for this. We will not be funding, from the county's perspective, any type of billboards or materials or flyers or advertising or anything else. We cannot be spending taxpayer money on this issue. And I just think it's very important for people to understand that simply moving this forward does not mean it's going to cost anyone anything.
Mr. Bellis sent me the potential ballot language and what it would look like. And this is what we face in Fremont County with any kind of ballot measure, especially a Tabor question. And many times and quite often the difficulty in passing these sorts of measures, although we have in the past, we've passed the sheriff's tax. And the city has passed the road and bridge.
Well, school districts and fire districts.
School districts and fire
managed to pass a
districts.
lot of ballot measures here.
And many of these do pass here in this county and in this city and in these districts. But the hurdle that we have to overcome in many of our counties is the Tabor language that comes with the ballot language, the constitutionally required language. And this one, and some of the details would have to be tweaked, obviously, as we get further on into this, but it's basically, shall Fremont County taxes be increased by $800,000 annually in the first full fiscal year of collection commencing January 1, 2026. And then, of course, then it gives some of the details on the increase from 2% by 4% up to 6%. And then it gives some of the details on what that would be used for. And obviously, this is part of the discussion that we would have to have going from here. What is included? The promotion of tourism, enhancing visitor experiences, public infrastructure, or enhancing public safety measures, fire protection, emergency medical services, law enforcement, et cetera. So again, the required Tabor language doesn't distinguish in any situation who ultimately will be the payer. Ultimately, the taxpayer will be the payer.
Yeah.
But that's why it's kept in such general language. But it doesn't distinguish if it's going to be you and I, or if it's going to be our visitors. that come into town. That's part of a ballot measure campaign and marketing.
exciting.
And how that happens. Have you or any of the other folks talked about campaign-wise and how that would look and work?
We have. I think ultimately it's going to have to be a lean-in for community organizations and partnerships in order to move the needle. So this conversation has come up multiple times. And it's actually going to be discussed in our board meeting on the 5th. So just this particular conversation, so.
Right. As far as innkeepers, lodging, hotel owners and whatnot, you are one.
Allegedly.
How are the others feeling? I know how a couple feel about this.
Some love it, some don't. So, I think in the SDR, short-term rental area, less concern. True lodgers, more concern. I think there's a sentiment among some lodgers that believe the money should be dictated by them, how it's spent, because they're collecting it, and I get that feeling as someone who collects that money and writes that check. It's not an awesome feeling, but I think some find a little bit of faith in that I'm a lodger here having this conversation with y'all. So I understand the benefits of it. I understand the opportunities presented for us as a region. Also truly know that, the wind is always going to blow and you have a couple choices. You can decide to ignore the wind or you can adjust your sail. And, if you're not adjusting your sail, you get a problem. And, that's what I'm here doing, helping us adjust our sail, so.
Okay. Well, any more questions for Mr. Arnold? Anything to add?
I would just say thank you for being here
Yeah.
this morning to kind of explain your viewpoint and your side of things. I appreciate that very much.
Yeah,
Glad to do it.
This is never an easy discussion when in our area. Facts are facts, and we are who we are here.
Truth.
And so, none of us, all of us understand what you were just saying. It's painful to write that check, regardless whether it's at 2% or 6%. It's still painful to write that check because, it comes back to us, at least the community. But as a business owner, it's a different matter.
Yeah. Also don't like writing the property tax check. If we're-
Yeah, there's a
in fact,
bunch
we
of
get
them.
that on
We
the
talked about
record.
earlier.
There's a bunch of them.
Yep, none of us like that. None
And
of us.
if you're one of those that has to, come April every year, write that check yourself as a business owner, that is especially painful. And being in that situation for a long time, April is not my favorite month. No one wants to write that check. And so these are the things that we're going to have these discussions on. But today, the statute is pretty clear as far as the time frame from the election when we have to give intent to the clerk. We don't have to have finalized ballot language. We will have to have that discussion here in this room as far as approving any kind of finalized ballot language. And we'll try to determine as soon as we can when we need to do that. But those discussions between now and then and publicly will have to take place so we can determine exactly what would go on the ballot. We did have a discussion that, sometimes you get put something on the ballot and then you want to pull the plug on it, and that's always a possibility. It's not the preferred way of doing things, but it is always a possibility. Happens all the time, especially at the state. You have hundreds sometimes of these approved ballot measures and not that many go on. It seems like a long ballot, but it could have been longer.
So the question I would have is, if we chose to move forward and then couldn't come to a consensus on, either the language or, the intricacies of the budget, and we decided not to, what are the ramifications? Does anybody know? Eric, do you know the ramifications of us deciding we're not going to move forward after we decide that we want to? Are there any?
In my opinion, the ramifications are, you still have the 2% tax.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, that's.
You're not going to lose that.
You're not going to lose that.
Yeah, okay.
Maybe just from a strategy standpoint, it'd be better to pull the plug than to lose a vote.
I agree.
So that's a question we can't answer here, whether or not that's going to.
That's fine. I'm just curious.
Yeah.
So.
So, but there have been other instances in this county where votes have been lost and then people come back with a different campaign and different things and have passed things. And so there's no good answer on that one.
Sure.
But I would say just off the cuff, preferable to pull the plug than to lose.
Yeah.
So, anything else? We do need to give intent to the clerk, and it does require official action. So if there is no other discussion, I will make a motion that the Board of County Commissioners give in writing intent to the county clerk that there will be a ballot measure in regard to the increase of the lodging tax. And I will leave out any particular numbers out of the motion because that is still really in flux, but I'll just leave it at that. We will give written intent to the clerk.
I'll second.
Has been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Grantham?
Aye.
Commissioner Bell?
Aye.
Commissioner McFall?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay. Thank you, Adam.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it. And with that, we turned the shortest agenda that we've had all year into one of the longer meetings of the year. So thank you all for being here. Thank you to the Elks for being here. And we look forward to your event this weekend. And so with that, no other further business, we are adjourned.